Hello and welcome to Car Dealer Live. My name is James Batchelor. Now, it won't have escaped your notice that Motors has undergone a massive rebrand, but why has the company done this and what plans does it have for the year ahead? Joining me to speak more about this is Motors Chief Operating Officer Phill Jones and Marketing Director Lucy Tugby. Hello both.
Good morning. How you doing, Patch?
Very good, thank you. Very good. Lovely to have you on. Like I said in my intro, it's a massive rebrand this, so we really do appreciate you coming on and chatting a little bit more about this. Now, obviously, Phill, the brand was well, you chose the Car Dealer Used Car Awards to unveil it, and essential to your proposition is this multi-site advertising, the power of that. Um, Tell us how the rebrand is going and why this sort of multi-site advertising is key to your proposition at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, the rebrand's going really well. It's like we're taking a lungful of air as a business. We're really sort of shoulders back coming into the year, and I think that's because really it's a chance for us to deliver on what we believe in. We've been owned by private equity for 2 years now and been working hard in the background to improve the business. When we launched eBay Motors Group, we were owned by eBay. And now that we're independent, still a partner of eBay, we're able to draw attention to the motors part of the proposition, which will be kind of the fundamental driver of the growth. Our new CEO, Barry, arrived, was it June 2022? And he, challenged us to kind of gain a fresh perspective, gave us fresh confidence. We've invested more in marketing, doubled the size of our product and tech teams, expanded the size of our customer service teams, really to just sort of get on top of the things that we knew needed take it to the next level. And Motors is the site we own and control, and it performs brilliantly, and it's going to be the biggest driver of our growth. But we're also a network proposition, and it's fundamental to our pitch really that we help dealers reach car buyers at multiple stages of the car buying journey. So be that Motors, eBay, Gumtree, it's really exciting. So it's kind of news, right? But we've been planning about it for a while and taking the actions. And also, like cynically from a dealer's perspective, nothing massively changes immediately because the investment's kind of been underway. But yeah, it allows us to kind of execute with focus really, and be a bit go get them really.
Lucy, straight after the launch of the rebrand, there was this big announcement from you guys saying that the Motors name is now going to be at the British Motor Show. Obviously, a massive potential there. Can you just tell us what your plans are for the show and what it means for the dealer partners watching this?
Yeah, of course. Yes, no, we're really excited about this. It's a 2-year sponsorship of the British Motor Show. It's the UK's fastest growing automotive show for families, attracting more than 60,000 visitors across 4 days. It allows us to connect, obviously, with thousands of car buyers, not only at the show, but over the months leading up to the event in August, through all the considerable ticket marketing campaigns and promotions. Really helps us to drive that brand awareness and consideration for Motors, which in turn supports our dealer partners with the growth in leads. We know from research really that we've conducted as recently in the summer that car buyers really want to use car search platforms that they both trust, but most importantly that they like as well. And they're looking for a knowledgeable friend to really help them through that process, which can be very complex. And encouragingly, Motors is really starting to score very well on all of these criteria. So we can't wait to bring Motors to life at the event. And really, it's not just through the headline branding at the show. We'll also be sponsoring the Family Zone, and we're working with the British Motor Show team to create a new feature this year, which is called our Motors Dealer Showcase area, where we'll be inviting dealer partners to come down, show off their vehicles, invite people to take on test drives, and really sell the cars off stand as well. So that's going to be a really exciting new feature. I mean, it's going to be a great event, and we're looking forward to it.
Yes, yes. If previous events have gone, anything to go by, it's a really exciting venue. So that's great. But alongside this, you've also got this partnership, and you've extended it now with Global, the Radio X and Heart. I mean, what will this cover?
Yeah, so we're continuing our partnership with Global, which ran last year and into this year. We're now going to be sponsoring the Johnny Vaughan Drive Time Show on Radio X. It's a year-long sponsorship again. This always-on activity really works for us, ensures that we're top of mind with car buyers when they're in their cars driving home from work, taking the kids to clubs in the evening, whatever it may be. It helps us to reach that audience at scale. We're also combining it, as we did last year, with some promotional sponsorship and competition activity on Heart, which is the UK's largest commercial radio station, really just to boost the results even further.
I mean, sometimes it's easy to forget, isn't it, how big radio advertising is. But how effective is it for you as a business?
Yeah, it's really paid off for us. I think having this, as I say, this always on year-round activity, we know we need to be staying top of mind. And what we've seen over 2023 through the investment in Radio X and our out-of-home advertising as well, has seen a shift in all of our key brand metrics, sustainably growing those throughout the year. It also allows us to bring the personality of the brand to life through the presenters, but also the credits, the promotions we're running on the station. It's a really sort of fun way of kind of bringing that brand to consumers through stunts like we did our big smashing driving stunt, hard to say, last summer, where we gave away a car. As I say, it's just really about staying very present at those kind of key moments throughout the year.
Yeah, I'm sure you've got some other activities up your sleeve. I mean, is there anything else you can share with us in terms of sponsorship and marketing?
Yes, of course. Yeah. So beyond the sponsorship we're doing, we're also launching a new Motors app in the first half of this year. So we're very keen to obviously be there wherever car searchers need us, wherever they want, however they want to use us. Which will show sort of continued investment in our product, ensuring that we're growing our leads, as I say, reaching new audiences. And we're also continuing to invest heavily in new performance channels, SEO being very important to us as well, just to make sure we're present at every stage of the car buying journey and to really maximise that lead generation for our dealers.
Phill, you've recently completed some research for the latest digital touchpoint survey. We featured it on cardealermagazine.co.uk, and it was some really interesting reading there. You took a deep dive into online consumer car search and buying trends. Can you just tell us a little bit more about this year's survey and how it shapes what you do as a business?
Yeah. Of course, yeah. So this is a piece of research. Interviewed 3,000 car buyers. So lots of definitions of that, but effectively people who have actively searched for a car in the last month. It's very representative of the car buying population geographically, demographically. And, it's really important because it helps us to educate dealers on what's happening at the very top of the funnel. Kind of a key principle of our business at the moment is to be a partner to dealers. We don't sell cars ourselves. Like that's kind of for the dealer to do. But what we do know is how people are searching for cars and what sort of actions they're taking on the internet and the kind of their sentiments and and the trends. That's really important for us in terms of shaping our product development, shaping our sort of marketing messages. But I think that if there's one thing we can do for dealers is kind of translate that into the kind of the so what, because by the time that car buyer arrives at the dealership, you've got to understand what that car buyer has been going through, really.
Yeah. And what were the key findings that you took away from this?
Yeah, I mean, the key sentiment is consumers needing more time and to do more in their research. I mean, unsurprisingly, it's an incredibly confusing time to be a car buyer. We've got higher interest rates, which affects the cost of the car, but also we all have less money because our mortgages are going up, and that's really starting to flow through. The broader cost of living crisis, which again puts budgetary pressures. There's more makes and models to choose from than ever before. And then you also have the battle of, or the debate around, do you go electric or ICE, and how does that fit into your lifestyle? So to bring that to life and kind of two stats, which are just really worth remembering, it's taking on average 50 days for a car buyer to complete their process. That was 42 days on average in June 2021. So that's that's 18% more. So 50 days someone is in market, and they're using 4.2, very specific number, 4.2 websites in the process compared to 3.5 in June. Now, obviously, no one is using 4.2 websites, the average, but what it's showing us is that people are doing more in their research phase. And why? Because people want reassurance on price, they want reassurance on the details, they want confidence in the seller. I say, if I'm booking a hotel, I will check 2 or 3 websites. If I'm spending thousands of pounds on a car, I'm absolutely going to be checking websites and doing our research. And so I think what's really important for dealers to think about is where the consumer is in their journey. So we broke it up, interestingly, this stage into the initial stage, the shortlisting stage, and then the final decision. Now, the final decision is probably where the dealer really sees the consumer. They may see them in the shortlisting stage, but this sort of first stage, which is the initial search, online is king. Now, unsurprisingly, it's how we buy everything these days. And it's very easy for a dealer to think that the showroom's feeling quiet, but not really being aware of how busy and how viewed they are from the top of the funnel. And just 5 things that kind of stood at the top of the list of what would make you pick up the phone or submit a lead to the dealer was a warranty or guarantee included in the overall cost. So peace of mind. People don't want hidden surprises. A discount or a special offer, because we all love to feel different. Given time to make a decision without interference, which goes back to that first point around it taking longer. People just need more support during that process. Having the car in stock, obviously, and reviews of the dealership. So again, it's not necessarily just price led. I'd say it's overall value and confidence. And so I think you've just got to understand that car buyers just need that little bit more nurturing as they're going through that process.
Yeah. No, it's some really interesting reading from that, and I do urge people to go and read it in depth, because there's some interesting takeaways from it. Lucy, let's turn to the actual market itself then. Obviously, you've got access to some fantastic data, search activity, and to do with consumer demand. How do you think, from your analysis, the used car market is currently performing?
Yeah, so I think obviously coming out of the new year now, and everyone's back into their routines, probably a few New Year's resolutions already broken, I'm sure. We're starting to see that intent increasing. So we always see a bounce after Boxing Day. We sort of seen it sort of slightly slower maybe than we'd initially expected coming into the initial sort of early part of the new year, and now we are starting to see that momentum grow and intent increasing. And I think it's great this year. We're in a very strong position now, with sort of more marketing channels on than ever before, more sort of firepower at our fingertips, and a new app on the way as well. So we're in a really strong position now to translate that demand into leads for dealers and to be ready. And we expect it to kind of continue growing. We often have a strong February, so it's not all about this month. We're looking ahead now to the rest of the quarter.
Yeah. Phill, I mean, every month you publish and you distribute the Motors Market View, which is analysis of the used car market trends. What's it telling you about the current situation, particularly in terms of dealer stock and average prices, and of course days to sell?
Yeah, so I'd say December was quite a mixed bag. I would describe it as emotionally nervous from dealers. There was kind of a lot of noise across the sector around. I mean, dealers hate Christmas in general. So there's kind of a lot of nervousness of people not sure how January is going to shape, but actually there's some pretty solid fundamentals in the data. So December, we saw dealers were starting to stock up again, and actually they were 53 units, which is 3% up year on year, which is probably a reflection of slightly lower wholesale prices, but also a sign of confidence if dealers are actually out there buying. Pricing, again, continued to sort of settle rather than sort of, so it was down 1% month to month, 3% year on year. So we've sort of had the dip. We think you won't see major increases. It'll be relatively steady, maybe up or down a percent kind of as we go through the next few months. And then days to sell of 37 in December, which isn't bad for that time of year, given that sometimes you view it as like a 3-week month. And last year that was 40. So actually, I'd say the industry performed pretty well. Though I think if you'd have asked most people at the start of December how they thought December was going to be, they would have been much more bearish. So, you know, it's a sign. I think it's a good sign of our industry that, you know, people tend to be sort of, you know, over prepared, really, which is essential, really.
Yeah. And finally, let's try and look ahead a little bit to the end of the quarter and to the rest of the year. What do you think the challenges and opportunities are, Phill?
Yeah, without wanting to rain on the parade, there's no doubt that 2024 is going to bring challenges. I think higher interest rates are going to continue flowing through to the sector. So not only, you know, more people affected on their mortgages, but also cars. You know, so you know, you're that person who goes and changes their Golf every 3 years. You're going to suddenly sit in the dealership and be faced with not, you know, either a significant increase or not being able to buy the car you want. I think this is kind of all starting to flow through, and you know, dealers will have that impact themselves if they're using stocking plans. The rates of interest have gone up, you know, cost of living increase, labor, and everything. So like there's going to be even more pressure on a dealer's bottom line, which is also already sort of wafer thin. But what I would say is you also need to tread carefully because car buyers are becoming harder to win. As we were talking earlier, they're taking longer to search and they're searching more. So dealers are going to be under pressure to make sure they stay visible and well presented at the top of the funnel. Like, don't cut off the oxygen supply that's going into the business. But you also have to do this kind of Houdini trick of trying to get more visibility while staying on top of costs in the business. And, you know, those numbers from December sort of show that actually that quest for kind of continual improvement, I think that's really the key theme for 2024. And we often see it when times of challenge, you know, that creates opportunities for the good to kind of, you know, stand apart from the rest of the crowd. So yeah, that's me trying to be glass half full, really. And you know, there are definite challenges, but you know, if you're smart and you're passionate, I think you've got a decent chance.
Yeah. And I'm sure the rebrand and all the marketing activity is really going to help dealers in that regard. But for today, Phill, Lucy, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Thanks for having us.
Thanks.
Well, that's it for today's Car Dealer Live. Join us again very soon. Bye-bye.